Terence Crawford is just going to use his legs versus Errol Spence. This is a notion that I'm hearing quite a lot, and I want to spend some time and just talk about it and find out what's what in this video. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Now, I really felt the need to make this video. We all, as boxing fans, want to see Terence Bud Crawford and the undisputed fight, Crawford versus Errol Spence Jr. But in my observation, I really feel like this fight has so many different variables that the fighters themselves are being mischaracterized as far as what they do and how they fight and things like that. And I'm going to expand more, so make sure you guys stay tuned to the end of this video. For starters, you see on the screen, it says Spence is more technically sound and Crawford is going to use his legs. And I've seen a couple of different boxing breakdowns and fight predictions. Ultimately, we can't say who's right or wrong because they haven't fought. So at the end of the day, they have to fight for us to see. But in my observation, I really feel, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. I really feel there's a lot of people that it kind of makes me wonder if they even watch the players involved. Like, have you seen Errol Spence fight? Several fights. Have you seen Terence Crawford fight? Because there's this notion, as I stated in the beginning, that, you know, Terence Crawford, he's going to move around and, you know, use his poise and in and out and things like that. Now, I've been in boxing long enough to know that sometimes fighters have a toolkit and a tool set and things that maybe they don't have to draw from that palette when they get their victories another way, right? Like some guys are brawlers and they choose to brawl, but they can box more than people know. And if you've never seen them spar, if you've never seen certain fights, then you may not know that. Versus like some guys, it's well known that Andre Ward or Floyd Mayweather can do it all, do a little bit of everything overall, offense, defense, etc. So there's some guys that are known for just really being a complete fighter. And then some people have tools, but some elements of the tools are hidden. In the case of Terence Crawford, I'm hearing a lot of conversation, and it's suggesting that Crawford is going to get on his bike and use his legs. And it's really an ongoing notion that Terence Crawford is this poised technician that floats in and out and things like that. And from my estimation and what I've seen about Crawford, I think he's mischaracterized. The miseducation of Lauryn Hill, the miseducation and mischaracterization of Terence Crawford. When I think of Crawford, when I watch Crawford, I see something different than what Tim Bradley and other people are saying. Crawford is definitely a beast. He's an amazing fighter. He deserves to be on the pound for pound. You got to have him somewhere, right? And he has a competitive streak that is like no other. But all this, like he's going to use his legs and box. My thing is this. I'm just curious, what fight are people drawing from that lets you believe that or leads you to believe that Crawford uses his legs a lot? Because when I see Crawford, and when I've covered several of his fights live, I've watched his fights on TV, et cetera, I see an aggressive boxer puncher more so than somebody that gets on their bike and utilizes a lot of lateral movement, right? And that's the reality. Like even Shakur Stevenson, that's Terence Crawford's little bro, he kind of has more of that type of dynamic as well, where he has a defense and he has some slickness, but he also has aggression too. You know, there's some fighters, like, they get called boring because they're not throwing enough punches and, you know, Guillermo Rigondeaux, stuff like that. But you don't really see that for Terence Crawford, guys like that, because at the end of the day, Terence Crawford, he likes to trade, and he likes to let you know you can't beat him at anything. That's just, he has like a real mean streak. You got to put it up there with the Marvin Haglers and guys like Ray Mercer, just the guys that are mean. You know, David Benavidez also has a vicious, mean streak. Other guys like Gervonta Davis, if we're talking about more contemporary fighters. And that's kind of what I see from Crawford. So I'm just curious from you guys in the comments section. Definitely leave me a comment and let me know what fight he's displayed this type of boxing, because I see it all the time. I see people erroneously make comparisons to Floyd Mayweather. And personally, I just see a completely different style, right? And I'm just curious because I see a lot of breakdowns. And some people, like I've even heard people say Errol Spence is going to get on his bicycle and run. You know, I've seen some people that said Terence Crawford is going to utilize a lot of foot traffic and foot movement and in and out movement. And I'm just wondering what fight that he did that in that leads you to believe, because practice makes permanent. So I would love to see, as I gear up for this fight, hopefully they do fight, and prepare and ready myself for the fight, I would love to see what some of you guys are referring to, the likes of Tim Bradley and whatnot, to see where this tricky boxing footwork stuff is that I'm hearing in the fight predictions. I really want to see that so I could review the tape and watch what you watch, because I've watched, I mean, I don't even, God knows how many Terence Crawford fights I've seen, from the De'Aaron Jean fights to Ray Beltran to John Molina. And to me, I think Crawford is there. He's like in the front. He's at your front door. He's in your wheelhouse. This is one thing that I've always noticed that is always kind of like, you know, scared me a little bit, is like sometimes Crawford fights fire with fire. So when I'm hearing people like Tim Bradley and just others, just people breaking down the fight, I'm seeing a lot of stuff that's encompassing, oh, Errol's the naturally bigger guy, but Terence Crawford is going to do this and that with his footwork. So again, practice makes permanent. So I would imagine a fighter who has this in their toolkit and they have the amount of fights, high-level fights, undisputed, and these types of accolades, there would be some type of fight that I could reference if that was my opinion. Like anything that I say when I give my boxing assessment and diatribe is stuff you can typically find throughout a film study. You know what I mean? So I'm not sure. I'm not sure what particular fight people are referring to. Just basically let me know a fight where Terence Crawford used a lot of movement, like where he was just moving insane, like Edeslani Lara or something. I'm talking about somebody who's moving. And if he doesn't move a lot, then that could get chippy and it could get interesting, because Errol Spence is the bigger guy. He's the guy who's been at welterweight consistently. I think Errol Spence has done the heavier lifting, things like that. So I think this is a great time to open the floodgates with the conversation, because, again, I just see there's no right or wrong until they fight. So it's not even about that. But I like to break the ice and use my channel and my platform that I built from the ground up to test everybody's knowledge, maybe be enlightened if there's a way. And that's really what this video is for. I wanted to break the ice because I'm seeing a lot of boxing experts in the comment sections and former fighters and stuff, and they're saying Terence Crawford's going to utilize all this footwork. So from the Jose Benavidez fight, Jeff Horn, you know, all these fights, just let me know where the footwork that you think is going to be the determining factor, where that was. Like, let's say Mean Machine fight. Did he use a lot of footwork in that fight? Because, again, I remember Terence Crawford being in that wheelhouse, and he did get dropped in that particular fight. And even when the game plan wasn't all the way working in some of the early rounds, he stayed right there. Like, he didn't get on his bike and say, oh, I got dropped, so let me retreat and things like that. So please let me know what some of you guys are referring to when it comes to Crawford. Because I think a lot of people in this boxing game, they tend to give fight predictions and they're saying more so what someone should do rather than what they're known for doing, if that makes any sense. So I could make a script that somebody could follow to beat a certain fighter. Like say, oh, Ruslan Provodnikov, if he ducks and dips and parries and blocks and jabs, then he can beat Floyd Mayweather, right? You can make something up, but then you look at it and then you're compromising the style of the fighter to equate to that victory. Like if I'm breaking down a Wilder fight and I say, oh, Wilder's gonna time him 1-2 down the pipe, land the right hand, and knock him out. That would be a fight prediction based on the capabilities that Wilder has always showed. But I wouldn't say, if I'm saying a Wilder fight, I'm not going to say, oh, he's going to come out in the Philly shell or something like that, because he's never really showed me that in 40 plus fights. I think if he was about some Philly shell action, then he probably would have showed it by now. And more or less, that's kind of what it is. Crawford, he's a dynamic fighter, so maybe there's things that he hasn't had to show you that he can pull out. But since a lot of people are suggesting that footwork is the key, I'm just curious what fight that he fought, especially welterweight specifically, because that's the weight that he's fighting Errol. Specifically, what fight did he show you this type of foot speed and, fleet foot, things like that? Let me know in the comment section. I can't wait to read the replies. Drop your thoughts in the comment section. Subscribe to the channel. And I'm out. Introducing Super Thanks. Right here on the official Boxing Ego YouTube. Super Thanks allows you, the viewers, to show a little bit of extra gratitude, which enables me as a full-time content creator to push out the content you need in the world of boxing. Underneath all the videos, you will see a heart with the $sign in it. You can enter any amount that you find suitable as a super thanks. A brand new, interactive, and colorful way to get your comments highlighted and noticed by not only myself, but other people on the YouTube platform. Super thanks, a unique and cool way to show and applaud us full-time content creators. Hopefully you guys enjoy the content. Super thanks. The future is now. The Hibernation 5s by Kenichi Bear. Hybrid gaming and lifestyle headphones. Out of the box, you can connect to any console or PC. Bluetooth ready with a low latency USB adapter, color RGB, and extreme bass mode. The Hibernation 5s adjust to you. Whether you need a gaming, travel, gym, or lifestyle headphones, the Hibernations got you covered. The new Hibernation 5s, link in the description. Customize the way you hear the world. Welcome to the nation. Are you tired of your YouTube videos not getting any views? Well, consider TubeBuddy. I've used TubeBuddy for years to scale up my YouTube channel. Now we're sitting over 200,000 subscribers. TubeBuddy is a browser extension that offers a ton of built-in productivity and time-saving services to take your channel to the next level. Use my link in the description to get started with TubeBuddy and level up your channel faster. We working.